Hello there, and welcome back for another video on one variable data displays. So we need to go to this tab, one variable data, and recall that we did some key terms. We talked about a dot plot. We talked about a histogram, and recall that a histogram looks like a bar graph, but with a histogram, the bars actually touch each other, and the scale is an interval scale. And today we are looking at a box plot. And this is one of my favorite ones. I have always enjoyed making these, and I find them very useful to read. They tell me a lot of information. But let's take a look at the definition of a box plot, and then I'll show you how to make one and read it. And I'm using the textbook definition for the box plot. And let me go ahead and find that. I had to turn back. A box plot is defined by your textbook as a display that shows the range, and remember, range is largest minus smallest, or the spread is another way to think of the range, and distribution. Distribution is how the data looks, the pattern of the data of a data set. And I need to adjust my pen just a little bit. That is very dark, which is nice, but it's just a little bit thicker than I wanted it to be. So let me just try that. That's okay, but I'm sorry. I should have already had this set up. Let's try this. That's about right. Sorry about that. Okay, the example for a box plot. The table shows Anna's math test scores. Construct a box plot, and then they want me to find mean, median, mode, and range. So let's take a look first of all at the mean, median, mode, and range. I want to go ahead and find that information first, because that is going to help me construct my box plot. And there's something I need to tell you up here. I knew there was something else. When I was in school, we didn't call this a box plot. It had another name. It's kind of a box plot, but it was called, I'm sorry, one second. Let me make sure that I'm not about to confuse something here. Yes, I can go ahead and tell you. This one is called a box and whisker plot, and I'll show you why that is true in just a second. But I want you to know that if you see box plot or box and whisker plot, those are referring to the same distribution of data. Okay, back to the mean. We have done lots of practice with mean, so this one should be a little bit familiar. I am going to change colors for this part. So remember, I've shown you to get a mean, you want to draw that very long line on the top, and then the bottom number we will find looking at this data. So I look at the test number. It looks like she took 9 exams or 9 tests. So that will become the bottom of this mean problem. How many exams did she take? She took 9. And then we need to add up the scores to get this top number. We want to know how many points she had in those 9 tests. So let's do that on our calculators carefully. So I'm going to do all clear, and then 52 plus 65 plus 67 plus 70 plus 74 plus 78 plus 84 plus 90 plus 92. And I came up with a total of 672 points. So we add the scores to get that number, and then to get the mean we need to do 672 divided by 9. So it looks like her average score was about 74.6. So I'm going to say that that is about 75. Since these are test scores, I'm going to go ahead and round that to the nearest whole score. So the mean is about 75. Hit my camera. We don't want to take a picture. So approximately 75 on the mean. Okay, to get the median, remember median is middle, and we know that we have to put our scores in order. And it looks like they're already in order, so I don't have to worry about that. I'm just going to write them here to remind you of what median looks like. The scores need to be in order from least to greatest, and then you're going to find the middle one. So it looks like that Anna started out struggling a little bit in this math class, but by the end of the 9th week, or the 9th test, she had done quite well. And I have a mistake there. It wasn't a 94, it was a 92. That is where my learning disability comes into play. Sometimes I see things that aren't really there. Okay, so I need to check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 scores. The middle score is this one. It's the 74. So the median of this data is 74. We're going to need that in just a minute. Okay, the mode is the one that I would see the most. And there is no mode here because she didn't score the same score on 2 tests. Every test in her 9-week course was different. So there is no mode. And the range is always the maximum minus the minimum. And so the range is 92 minus 52, which is 40. So the range for this data is 40. And that just means that over the course of this math class, Anna had quite an improvement. Her scores varied by 40 points. Remember, 100 is usually the maximum score on a test, and she had a range of 40, so there was a lot of variance in her scores. And that tells me, looking at these, that Anna learned a lot in this class. She progressed. The trend was that she improved in the class. Okay, let me show you how to draw a box plot, or a box and whisker plot, and then we'll answer the 2 questions at the bottom. So for the plot, I'm going to use a blue pen just to keep us a little bit separated in terms of all this work. And the first thing you need to do to draw a box plot is to draw a line, a number line. So using a straight edge, let's just go all the way across this graph paper. Just plot me a line down there. And we're going to start counting on this line, and then we will end over here at this score. So I asked myself what the minimum is on her scores, and that was 52. So really I could start at 52, but to make this plot look a little nicer, I'm going to add about 10 points to that, a little more. I'm going to start my number line at 40. But you can pick where you want to start. It doesn't have to be a 40. That's just a good place for me. And I'm going to count just according to the number line. So let me zoom in here. If this is 40, there's 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. And you see that I am labeling every fifth mark. You can label every one of them if you want to. It doesn't matter. I just like to do every 5. So here's 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73. So do you see that we have a problem? What is the problem with my line? Well, I ran out of room. I need to bring that all the way up to 92 at least. Remember, 92 is my maximum. And I did this on purpose. I know this is a little annoying, but I wanted you to see what you need to do if this happens to you. If you're in a college class and you're drawing a graph and you realize, uh-oh, I don't have enough room. Here's what we want to do. And I'm going to erase, not my line. We don't need to draw that again. We're going to rescale the line. And I'll show you what I mean by that. Right now, let me just show you from 40 to 50. Look at how long that range is right there, that line. I need to shrink that scale down. Okay, so what I'm going to do, and watch carefully here, I'm going to first of all erase this and this, and I'm going to scale down. So I'm going to bring my 50 to this slot where that 45 was. Okay, so let's focus right here just a minute, because now I can't say that this is 41. 42, you can see this is not going to work. Okay, so those are not like they were a minute ago. What I'm going to do is make these be in increments of 2. So let me shrink that down. So instead of 41, we're going to jump 2 spaces. So there's 42, 44, 46, 48, and then 2 more would give us 50. So what I have done is called scaling down or scaling back. I have brought those numbers down a little bit on my scale, and now we should be able to fit everything in there. Okay, let me zoom back in and we'll keep going. This is 52. Remember, we're counting by 2s. 54, 56, 58, and here's 60. That's not very clear, is it? So 60, then 62, 64, 66, 68, 70, 72, 76. Remember, our last line ended at 73, and you can see I've got a lot more room this time because I scaled back. So here's 78. Whoops, I forgot something. I got ahead of myself. 74, 76, 78, 80, 82, 84, 86, 88, 90, 92, that's the max, but I'm going to keep going, 94, 96, 98, and 100. I'm not sure what's going on with my tablet, guys. It's a little bit out of sorts today. And I'm going to go ahead and finish just because I have the lines. You can go as far as you want. You can stop at 100. It doesn't really matter. But since I have those, I like to leave things complete. So this particular line actually goes to 106 because we scaled it back and we've got a little more room on our line. Okay. Here's what we need to do to draw our box and whisker plot, or our box plot. The first thing I need to know is the median of the data. And you see that we've already found that right here. The median is 74 for the whole data. So I'm going to come here to my number line, and above the 74, let me zoom in so you can follow me. I'm going to come up here, maybe it doesn't matter. I'm just going to come up 5 boxes or 4 boxes. And at that 74, see there's the 74, I'm putting a dot. Okay, so I have just plotted a dot at the median. This is 74, the median of the data. Okay. The next thing I need to do, I need to come up here to my data set, and I need to look at the numbers below the 72. I'm sorry, the 74. Let me do it this way. Here's our median, right in there. Below that, I have 4 scores. I have these. Those are the lower scores. And then above it, I have the upper scores, those 4. Okay, so I'm going to work with the lower ones first, the 52, 65, 67, and 70. So I want you to come down here and let's just write those down. And then we need to get the median of these scores. So I'll go over here. This is the lower median. The lower middle is going to be right in here between the 65 and the 67. Now I know it has to be 66 because that's all that's in there. But if you didn't know that, you could add those two together. We talked about this way back when we did median, and divide by 2. So 65 plus 67 equals 132. And you divide that by 2 to get your lower median of 66. So that is what I'm doing with the lower scores. Okay, and then I'm going to come down to my number line, and at 66, I'm going to put another dot. And let me zoom in so you can see really closely what I've done here. The first thing I did, I put my median of 74. And then we found the 66, and I've put that one in here also. Okay. All right, then we need to do the upper median, which is this orange set of numbers. And those are 78, 84, 90, and 92. That's this orange set of scores, everything above the 74. And I need to find this median. So we're going to go to the middle, which is right in there. If you hear that thunder, we're having a very bad storm here, so hopefully that's not too loud on the video. And divide by 2 because we're adding two numbers together. So 84 and 90 is 174. And you divide that by 2. And you get an upper median of 87. Okay. So let me highlight again for you what that is. If you go back to your scores up there, you see the upper scores give me that upper median of 87. And you probably know exactly what I need to do. I need to zoom in here at 87, and that's between 86 and 88, so I'm going to put my dot right there. So we have the data median, which is 74, and then we have the upper and lower medians that we found with our scores. And here's the fun part. We get to draw this box. So I'm going to draw a line through the median, and a line through this median, and a line through this median, and then we're going to connect the box. Sorry, I didn't quite make it. I'm shaky today. Okay, so there's the box. All right, so we have this nice box. We have a couple more short little things to do, and we'll have it. The other thing, two more things we need to plot. We need to plot our minimum and our maximum. And remember that the lowest score was 52, the highest was 92. So I'm going to come in here at 52 and draw a dot. 52 was my minimum. The maximum was 92, so let's draw a dot for the maximum right in there. And these don't get boxes, these get lines. So you're just going to draw a line to this one and a line to this one. And you have drawn a box plot, or a box and whisker plot. This is the box. And remember, this was our median of 74. This was our low median, and this was our high median. This was our maximum, and this was our minimum. So you've got your box plot. This is called a whisker. When I was in school, we called these box and whiskers, and this was another whisker. And you think about looking at a cat, the whiskers stick out from the side of the face. So those are your whiskers. Those show you max and min. All right, you've drawn a box plot, which is pretty cool. This is not an easy thing to do. And I just realized something. I didn't fill in my mode and range up here. This was nothing for mode, and range was 40 points. So, forgot to do that. Okay, a couple more questions that you could be asked about this, and I just want, mostly for the vocabulary, I want to show you what this means. The first one is, what is the interquartile range? And this is a big fancy word for the box. So if they're asking you about the interquartile range, think about the box itself. It's from 66 to 87. And remember how you find a range. You take the maximum minus the minimum. So you're looking at a range there of 21 points. 87 minus 66 is 21. So the interquartile range is 21. Okay. What are the first and third quartiles? Well, remember what quartile means. quartiles are parts of 4. Okay, so if you think about this first and third quartile, you're talking about your upper and lower medians. Okay, so the first one is going to be the lower median that we had to find. It's up there in the blue, and that was 66. And the third one is your upper median that we had to find, and that was in the orange up there. That is 87. So if you get asked questions about your your first and third quartiles, you are looking at those lower and upper medians. So this is a box plot or a box and whisker plot for a set of test scores. I would not lose sleep over this. I just wanted to show you what it was, because it's kind of scary if you've never seen it before and this pops up on a test. It can be a little bit alarming. So I wanted you to at least have seen it before. But you can watch the video again if that would help. And as always, if you have questions, please contact me. I'll be happy to sit down with you and help you understand these a little more clearly if I can do that. Okay, I believe that finishes, it does, our one variable data. And so we'll be looking next time at the 2 variable data, and we'll soon be finished with this course. But I will see you in the next video, and I hope you have an awesome day.